All right, boom. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. First of all, shalom, shalom to my people. Holding it down. Solo dolo tonight. Yasha had some business he had to take care of, so I'm gonna hold it down. I'm gonna address a question that's been asked a million times to me, to a lot of people that's in this walk. A lot of misconceptions about this walk. And today we're just gonna clarify the whole thing. We're gonna sum up the whole question. As we know, we're gonna do some background, then we're gonna do some scripture, and then we're gonna just bring it all together. So the question that we on tonight is, what does it mean to be an Israelite? Right. So again, shalom, shalom, good brother. Um, it is not a religion. That's the first thing I want to clarify. Being an Israelite has nothing to do with a religion. Okay, being an Israelite does not mean, what I'm saying, we don't do anything that a religion does. This is a nationality, and we're gonna bring that out with scripture. We're gonna bring that out with history, as we always do on these Thursday classes. So shout out, first of all, shout out to all of the people that's tuned in right now, all the people that's tuning in. And per usual, we open up with a word of prayer. So our hearts open, our minds clear. Almighty Yahweh, we come before you with thanksgiving. We come to you humbly, thanking you for the day. Thank you for getting it through today. Thank you for your word. Thank you for the selection of your truth. We ask that you bless us, continue to bless us on our walk, bless our families, and bless all those we may come in contact with. Forgive us for any of our trespasses, all things seen and unseen, all things committed and omitted. We ask you bless this lesson. We bless the people that are on the podcast right now, on the live video. Bless the word, bless the hearing, and more so bless the application of your word. And in your son Yahweh name we pray. Hallelujah. Boom. Okay, let's get straight to it. What does it mean to be an Israelite? First thing, like I said, it is not a religion. It is not a religion. It is not a religion, right? Um, Shalom. So let's get straight to it. How did the Israelites come about, right? That's the first question we want to ask. So we go straight to the scriptures. And I'm not going to read all of the chapters. There's a lot of stories that build up and add to it. So just to give a little bit of background, we all know about Abraham. If you went to church, you grew up singing the song, Father Abraham had many sons had Father Abraham. I am one of them, so are you. So let's just play, right? So one of Abraham's sons was a man named Isaac, right? Okay, so Isaac um, does well in life, right? Isaac takes a wife at the age of 40. Azariah, I seen you put up a status the other day that said 40 is the perfect age to get married. So Isaac got married at the perfect age, according to Azariah. So he takes a wife. Her name is Rebecca. She has some complications getting pregnant. She can't get pregnant. So he goes to the Most High. He inquires with the Most High, and he says, please let my wife conceive. Right. A whole bunch of years later, she conceives. And the Most High comes to her and says, two nations are within thy womb, right? So she got twins inside of her, wrestling around. What's going on? So she got twins in her. She's pregnant with twins. The twins in there fighting. Now the twins wrestling and fighting in the womb was a foreboding for what would be what would happen through time, through history, right? So she gives birth, right? The first one. Well, before I go into that, Most High says there are two nations in your womb. We got to keep that in mind. Two nations, right? Two nations, not two babies, not two people, two nations, right? Um, and it says that the younger twin would rule over the older twin, right? So she gives birth. The older twin comes out, red all over and like a hairy garment, right? We ain't gonna get into all of the we ain't gonna get into all of the what we ain't gonna get into Esau. His name was Esau, right? The second child came on holding on to his foot, right? His name, they called him Jacob, right? So Jacob is the younger twin. They come out and look at the way Look at the way it all plays out. The Most High says two nations, they're gonna be at war. They're gonna be wrestling. They're gonna be wrestling with each other, right? So these two nations, they in the womb wrestling. They come out. Isaac, the father, takes a liking to Esau. Esau's his favorite. The mother, Rebecca, she takes a liking to Jacob. He's her favorite, right? So obviously, that's going to cause a little bit of tension in the upbringing. We see that happening amongst siblings in our households and things like that. So they're two completely different people. Esau is described as a cunning hunter, right? And Jacob is considered a plain man who dwells in tents, which means he just cool, laid back. He don't want to go hunt. He ain't about to do all that. Esau hunt and he cooked the meat. He's chefing it up, right? Esau cook, go hunt the meat, bring the meat back, cook, cut it, bust it down, boom, 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 Chef Boyardee Negro, right? But Jacob on the other hand, he vegan. He's vegetarian. He don't eat meat, right? So one day Esau goes out hunting. He's out for a long time. He's out for so long that when he comes back, he's so faint, out of breath, he's weak, he's weary. And he goes to Jacob and he's like, make me some red pottage. Make me some of that red pottage you make. Whip me up. And what it was red lentils. You can go to Kroger's, you can go to any grocery store, get some red lentils, right? Okay, we ain't talking about that. So he's like, make me some red lentils. So that's why Jacob began calling him Edom. So you understand Edom is a Hebrew word for red. That became his nickname because of the red lentils that he always liked to eat, right? So then we know that Edom turns into a land, Edom, and then the people that dwelt there, this was Esau's land, Edom, that became the Edomites. That's a nation, right? So now we left with Jacob. Okay, so when Esau comes in, he's hungry, he's faint, he's weak. He's like, brother, make me some of that pottage before I die. So Jacob, you know how brothers, sibling rivalry and things like that. So Jacob is like, I mean, I'll whip you up some lentils. That ain't nothing. I love you. I want you to eat. I don't want you to die. But sell me your birthright. Now, mind you, in these times, the oldest child would have the birthright or the inheritance, right? So Jacob's like, sell me your inheritance, sell me your birthright for a bowl of lentils. He like, brother, I'm about to die. What do I need with an inheritance? What do I need with a birthright? If I'm dead, take it. You can have it. I promise to give it to you. Now, Rebecca, mom, is sitting outside the tent when this conversation is going on. So she hears the whole conversation. Okay, so boom. They make the agreement. They shake on it. He make him a pot. Boom, he eat. He good. Years and years go on. Isaac ends up, there's a famine in the land. So Isaac goes off. There's a famine in the land. So Isaac goes off and he gets to the land. Let's see. I want to say it right. Y'all know I ain't good with these names. He went to a man named Abimelech. He was the king of the Philistines in Gerar, Gerar. Pronounce it how you want to. He goes here. So Abimelech is like, I ain't gonna do nothing to you, good brother. But Isaac's wife was cold. Isaac's wife is cold. Not Isaac, Jacob. Jacob take a wife, she cold. No, Isaac. Yeah, we talking about Isaac. Yeah, we still on Isaac, right? We ain't there yet. So Isaac, his wife is cold, and he like, don't do nothing to my sister. This is my sister. Don't do nothing. So it comes. They find out that this is actually his wife. So Abimelech like, bro, I ain't gonna do nothing to you and your wife. Chill. Nah, yeah, I am right. I'm tripping. I'm right. Anyway, he like, go ahead over there. Handle your business. Boom. So get rich, does well. Abimelech comes and he's like, yeah, we talking about Isaac. So Abimelech, it comes to him and he like, you got to go. You doing better than we are. You prospering more than we. He gets salty because you in my land. Your crops is doing better than mine. Everything that you doing is doing better than my land. So he kick him out. Go on about your business. You can stay, but just move. Get away from me. Kind. So what he ends up doing is he's like, you know what? I ain't gonna do nothing to you. It's love. Abimelech, like, look out for me, because you done multiply the number. You got all these workers and all this stuff. I don't want you doing nothing to me, because now you more powerful than me. What's up, D? He like, you more powerful than me. You more powerful than us. So look out for me and my peoples like I looked out for you and your peoples. I told them to stay up off your wife. Tell your people stay up off me. So he like, yeah, we good. Shake on it, boom. All that, boom. So time goes on. Isaac goes blind. He old, he blind. He know his time is coming. So he's like, it's time for me to pass on the birthright. So he calls Esau into his tent. He's like, Esau, come holler at me, big dog. He's like, it's time for me to pass on the birth. It's time for me to bless you with your birthright. So he tells Esau, go into the woods, find me a deer, and make me some stew that I love for you to make, right? Now, mind you, Esau was the one that worked with the meat. Pause. So Esau, like, I got you, Pops. I'm about to go get your deer. We're going to make some deer stew, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be bomb because you passed me my blessing, my birthright. I'm out of here. Now, mind you, this was years ago when the agreement was made between Jacob and Esau. So he goes off on a long trip. Now, I don't know if anybody is familiar with how hunting works. You can go hunting and you might catch something today, or you might be out there for a few days. Come to find out, Esau was gone for quite some time. So as soon as he leaves, Rebecca goes to Jacob and she's like, come here. Mind you, she was outside the tent listening. She was listening to the conversation between Jacob and Esau. So she comes and she gets him. Now, mind you, Jacob is her favorite. So she's like, Jacob, do me a favor. Go get a lamb, bring it to me. I'm going to bust it down. I'm going to make a stew. You take it to your dad, Isaac, and tell him that you Esau and you made it, right? So, and again, we just going over the backstory for people that's just now chiming in. So he's like, Mama, Esau hairy. I ain't got no hair. He gonna know I'm Jacob. So she takes the lamb, she busts it down, she takes the fur, put it on his arms, his hands, and his neck. So she makes the pottage, she makes the stew. He takes it to Isaac, and he's like, "Hey, Pop, it's me, Esau. I got your food." He like, first of all, how you catch a deer and cook a meal that fast? At this time, Isaac is blind, right? He's blind. He ain't deaf though. He like, first of all, how you catch a deer and cook a meal this fast? Then he's like, come here. Come here. Oh, also, she put the fur, the wool on his arms, his hands, and his neck, and she told him to go put on some of Esau's clothes from when he was hunting, right? So he goes in. He's like, come here, right? So he touches his hands. He's like, hold my hand. Hold my hand. He blind. Hold my hand. Get my hand. So Jacob give him his hand. He hold his hand. He like, why do this feel like why does it feel like Esau's hand, but I hear Jacob's voice? He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Dad. It's me, Esau. And he's like, give me a kiss then. So he goes to kiss his father on the forehead. When he kisses his father on the forehead, Isaac sniffs him. He stank. He smell like he's been out hunting. So he's like, oh, okay, surely this is Esau. Don't know what's up with your voice, but surely this got to be Esau. So he bless him. Boom, it's yours. Boom, gone. So as Jacob gets up and walks out of the tent, guess who comes into the tent? Esau. Esau walk in the tent. He like, Pops, it's me. I got your stew. He like, wait a minute. Esau was just here. He like, and he, no! He did the movie scream. No, my God, why you do this to me? So he's like, you know, your brother tricked me. So the birthright gone. I've already prayed and I've already blessed him with the birthright. So this creates a crazy feud, and this is how Jacob then gets his riches, right? So this is how Jacob gets his riches. And gets everything he has, right? He gets the birthright. So he gets the birthright. So this puts a wedge between him and his brother. They now it's smoke. When I see you, we gotta hit. It's on sight, right? So, and again, all of this is in scripture. You can go to Genesis, starting Genesis 34. Yeah. Reading the 30s, right? So, where we at? So, boom. Jacob then, right? Start procreating. Boom. Let's get to it. So, let's go to the book of Genesis. Now we're gonna go to scripture. So we got the background. We got the background on why it's beef between Esau and Jacob. We got and the beef between Esau and Jacob is important, right? Matter of fact, I'll do this before I even jump into this. Matter of fact, boom, let's do this. Let's do this and then I'll go into that. Okay, so let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 28. Book of Genesis, chapter 28. Right? Listen, I feel like I gotta push my head up with my whole forehead. Pardon me. Okay, cool. I can see the camera a whole lot better up here. All right, so Genesis chapter 28, and we go on to verse 14. 28 and 14. Genesis chapter 28, verse 14, and it reads, and thy seed shall, okay, boom, let's go to 13. And behold, Yahweh stood above it and said, I am Yahweh the Elohim. I am Yahweh Elohim of Abraham thy father. He's talking to Jacob. And the Elohim of Isaac. The land whereof thou liest, to thee will I give it, and thy seed. Now, mind you, okay, this is the part. What's up with it, my guy? Yeah, I'm from down the way, big dog. 13th and Pendleton. You hear me? Mr. Tony's son. I'm Mr. Tony's son. Okay, so boom. Okay, so what happens? I left a part out. So when Jacob gets the birthright, it's now time for him to take a wife. So he goes and takes a wife, right? You don't get into all that, but he takes a wife. He takes a wife, and then he goes to travel. Get tired, he makes a bed out of rocks. He lay on the rocks, and when he falls asleep, he has a dream about the ladder. This is where we get the story about Jacob's ladder, right? So while he sleep, Most High comes to him and then he says this, and behold, Yahweh stood above it. It is the ladder, and said, I am Yahweh Elohim of Abraham thy father, and the Elohim of Isaac. The land wherefore thou liest, to thee will I give it, and thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Now we gotta pause right there, right? Because there's a doctrine saying that salvation is only for Israel. Okay, this verse right here foretells that all the families of the earth, mind you, there are no Israelites. His name is still Jacob at this point. There are no Israelites. So he says all the families of the earth shall be blessed through your seed and through you and your seed shall all the families in the world be blessed. Boom. So that right there, we had to get that out the way. So how is all the families of the world going to be blessed through him and his seed? Let's see. Let's continue on. Let's see. Let's go to Genesis 32. Now, the reason I mentioned the feud, the reason I brought up and emphasized the feud between Esau and Jacob so much is because it got to the point where Esau went and got his wives. He had his kids. He got his land popping. He went and found Edom. He built it. Boom. Now he got armies. He got riches too. He built it up. Jacob got it too. But Esau, like, I'm gonna kill you. It's still on the flow. You took my birthright. Everything you got was supposed to be mine. So I had to get out here and get it out the mud when it should have just came to me naturally because of the birthright, right? So Jacob wants to make peace with Esau. So he gets together a big old peace offering, a whole bunch of cattle, a whole bunch of manservants, woman servants, a whole bunch of grain, gold, silver, everything you could think of back in those biblical times that would be considered valuable. He got a whole bunch of it together to give to Esau, right? And he sends a messenger. He's smart, right? He sends a messenger and he's like, go tell my brother I'm on the way with a peace offering and I want to make peace. So the messengers go, but when they come back, they say, your brother Esau is for sure on the way to meet you, but he got 400 people with him. He got 400 of them guys with him. So Jacob gets smart. He's like, okay, boom, do this. Split everything in half, right? All of this is important, right? So he's like, split everything in half and leave half of it here, send the other half the other way. So that way, if he does come and his intention is to slay me, he ain't going to take everything. You see what I'm saying? Smart thinking. So he goes and travels with, they go off to the side. And in the midst of that, he wake up, he get real smart. He like, you know what? He wake my wife, my wives, my kids, my personal service. Get up, y'all. Y'all go even further out, because if he kills me, my seed got to still live. My bloodline got to still live on, right? So boom, he does that. He escorts him away. And when he's headed back, he's met by an angel. We know in the scriptures, an angel just means messenger, right? So he's met by this messenger, this angel, and they start wrestling. He run up on him. What are you doing? Get off me. Get your hands off. Get your hands off. So let's go to Genesis 32. We're gonna start at 24 and read through to 28. So Genesis 32, 24 through 28. And it reads, and Jacob was left alone, right? And this is after his family is out, his family and everybody done left off, right? And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh. Boom, I lost my spot. Here we go. Salika. He touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint, and he wrestled with him still. So Jacob whooping his tail, he kicking, he winning. He winning, right? So dude like, all right, bow, knock his hip out. Boom. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. Now, this is how we know, the scriptures say man, but this is how we know it wasn't a man, because a man just run up on you, start beating you up. Just think about if you at Walmart in the produce section, you getting you some grapes, and somebody just run up to you, start knocking you upside your head with fruit. You're not about to be like, you trying to kill him. You trying to hurt him real bad, right? He used that angel strength, and they say he just touched the inside of his thigh right here. No homo. He touched right here. Boom, knocked his whole hip out. So angelic strength. Then he says, bless me. I'm not going to let you go till you. I'm going to keep beating on you until you bless me. Right. So let's keep going. Let's pick up at 26. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. He said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, what is thy name? The angel is talking to Jacob. He said, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with Elohim and with men, and hast prevailed. So Israel, and every time we see a name in the scriptures, it always gives the definition of the name right after it. So he's changed his name to Israel because he wrestled with God. He prevailed against man and God. That's what Israel means. So just think about the power that's associated with the name Israel, right? Power, super powerful, right? So boom, let's turn to Genesis 35, verse 10. Now we're gonna get to the we're gonna get to the yeah. We're gonna leave it right there. Genesis 35 and verse 10. And it reads, and Elohim said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. Now watch verse 11. And Elohim said unto him, I am Elohim Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. Loins. We know what loins is, right? Cojones, right? So the Most High tells Jacob, or he changes his name to Israel, right? Yeah. So he changes his name to Israel because he prevailed against the Most High, against the Most High, or with men and the Most High. He prevailed, and he told him that kings are going to come out of your loins, so your children are going to be kings, right? So the Israelites are the offspring of Israel, whose surname was Jacob. So the Israelites are kings, right? So when people, so we get a lot of times, we get people running around like, you know, we come from kings. They try to depict us as slaves. We come from kings, but they always connected to Egypt. And all through history, we see Egyptians as, you know, dang, they're white people. They don't look like us. Their facial features wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have the same customs. Yeah. So, but when you ask a person, we come from kings, they can't name none. They're right. We come from kings. We come from a lineage of kings. They're called the Israelites, and it's right here in the scriptures, right? Kings shall come from your loins. Let's keep going. Let's go to let's drop down to verse 23. Genesis 35 and 23. Watch this. We'll start at 22. And when and it came to pass when Israel dwelt in that land that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, first wife, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. 24. The sons of Rachel, his other wife, Joseph, and Benjamin, and the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid. So his one of his wife's helpers hit that thing. She had Dan and Naphtali, and the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid. So the other helper, the other handmaid, the other, you know, servant woman, or however you want to say it, Gad and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Padanaram. Yeah. And Jacob came unto Isaac, his father, we don't have to go into that. So boom. Right? So boom, we got 12 sons. These 12 sons go on to be kings and have their own nations, as it was prophesied, as it was told to him by the Most High. And those kingdoms and nations were named after the sons. That's why the land of Israel is called the land of Israel, because Israel was the name of the man who established the land. So now you got a kingdom called Reuben, tribe called Simeon, Levi, Judah. Well, I won't say kingdom, I'll say tribe. You got these big tribes, right? So let's go to Genesis 49 and 8. Let's get to these. Let's get a little bit better description of these sons and the roles they played, right? So Genesis 49 and 8. Matter of fact, we're gonna start before there, right? Matter of fact, we're gonna start at 49. We're actually gonna just start at 1, and we're gonna read through to 27. But I'm gonna read fast. chapter than I usually do. Ain't too many of them. Ain't too many of them biblical words in this one. All right, so Genesis 49 and it reads, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Befall you in the last days. Watch this. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, and defilest thou it. He went up to my couch. Now, mind you, it said that Reuben had laid with Isaac's concubine, right? So that's a sin. That's in the law. You can't defile the marriage bed, right? So you can't go sleep with nobody's wife. You can't go sleep with nobody's concubine. If they belong to another man, you can't do that, right? So Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations, right? On my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly, mine honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I would divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel. Boom. So we already see some discord. We already see, you know what I'm saying? Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. So he tells them right there that Judah is going to be the tribe of all the kings. All the kings come from the tribe of Judah, right? David, all of them. Y'all know him, right? Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Right? So the kings are going to come from Judah always. Boom. Tribe of Judah. Binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's coat unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. So these is navy men. The navy comes from the tribe of Zebulun. Listen, this is, when you really look at it, it's really mind-blowing, because we always hear about the 12 tribes of Israel, but this right here gives a detailed description of everybody's position. You know what I'm saying? Who was righteous, who wasn't, who was tripping, who wasn't, who was evil, who wasn't, who would be doing what, right? But let's keep going. Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens, and he saw the rest was good, and the land it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulders to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path, that biteth the horse's heel, so that his rider shall fall backwards. I have waited for thy salvation, O Yahweh. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. Out of Asher his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal dainties. Naphtali is a hind let loose, he giveth goodly words. Joseph is a fruitful bow, even a fruitful bow by a wall, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him, and shot at him, and hated him. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty Elohim of Jacob. From thence is a shepherd, the stone of Israel. Warriors, a whole lot of them too. They breed a lot. Even by the Elohim of thy father, who shall help thee, and by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessings of the breast, blessings of the womb. Again, they be having mad seeds. They fertile. They fertile and they about that life, right? The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. Conquerors. Yeah, Benjamin is the tribe that's gonna go out and conquer. We ain't necessarily going to war. We going to take over. Conquerors. Benjamin. That's where we get this from. That's where the wolves among sheep come from, right? Benjamin. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is it that their father spake unto them and blessed them. Everyone according to his blessing, he blessed them. Boom. So right there, he told everybody what they was going to get into throughout their generations. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to be, the conquerors. You're going to be the warriors. You're going to be the kings. You're going to be the lawmakers. You're going to be the judge. Let's see. So let's go. Do I want to go there right now? Okay, cool. Before I go into that, so you got 12 tribes, and eventually the tribes split, right? And they split and they formed two kingdoms, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom consisted of did I say Levi was the priest? Levi was the priest, right? But that's a whole story, right? But Levi became the priesthood, right? So the northern kingdom consisted of Reuben, Simeon, Issachar, Zebulun, Gad, Asher, Joseph, Naphtali, and half of Levi, right? The southern kingdom was Judah, Benjamin, and the other half of Levi. So the reason why Levi split is because Levi was the priest to Israel. Levi was the priests to Israel. So Levi, they had to split so they could continue to preach to Israel. And they can also preach to the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, right? So they had to split. Half of y'all go up here with them, half of y'all go down here with them. Everybody good, right? Now let's keep going. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7. And we're gonna bring this thing full circle. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verses 6 and 8. 6 through 8, my bad. So Deuteronomy chapter 7, verses 6 through 8. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy Elohim. Yahweh thy Elohim have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Yahweh did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because Yahweh loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath Yahweh brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen from the land of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So right there, let's focus on verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy Elohim. A holy people. So when we the reason why you hear a lot of Israelites, we harp on the law, we harp on righteousness and things like that, because we are a holy people. The law was given to Israel to give to the rest of the world, because we are the ones that bless all the families of the earth. So the law was given to us. But even with that, with us being chosen, we're the ones that can't mix our fabrics. We're the ones that can't eat an animal that dies of itself. We're the ones that have all these laws specific to us. And if we don't adhere to them, we suffer. You know what I'm saying? Silly guy. We are a holy people. Not only are we a holy people, when we were chosen, we were the fewest on earth. Excuse me. You look at a map right now, Israel is big. You got Africa over here about big as my arm. You got Israel, Cheerio, right? So let's keep going. Deuteronomy 14. Deuteronomy chapter 14. 14, verse 2. It says, "For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh the Elohim, and Yahweh have chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all nations that are upon the earth." Again, a holy people, right? Above all people on the earth. So our true position is supposed to be above. We're supposed to be the head. You know what I'm saying? I seen a TikTok the other day, and on the TikTok, it was a pastor, and he was saying, "Tell yourself, Deuteronomy chapter 28, I am the head and not the tail. I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that." Calm down, sir. We're not the head. I borrow, I you know what I'm saying? I ain't paid for my car cash. I got a loan. Well, I mean, I did, but my first car, I didn't buy cash. I had to get a loan. I had to finance that thing from a bank. A bank is typically owned by another color of people. We'll leave it at that. Boom. But we know how it is. But we're supposed to be in that position. We're supposed to be peculiar, means different, set apart. Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 19. Exodus 19. Exodus chapter 19, verses 3 and 4. And it reads, "And Moshe, or Moses, went up to Elohim, and Yahweh called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel." Tell the children of Israel, "Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings and brought you unto myself. Now," y'all, my bad, y'all. I had to figure out where I was at. "Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine." If so, the Israelites are the children of Israel, whose surname was Jacob, who was prophesied that he and his seed would bless all families of the earth. Here's the stipulation: if you keep my covenant, then you will be a peculiar people. Let's keep going. Let's go to Leviticus 19. The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verses 1 and 2, and it reads, "And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, Yahweh thy Elohim, am holy." Whoa, right? We are a holy people because we were chosen by the Most High to be a peculiar people and to be his chosen seed. So we are holy because he's holy. He made us holy. He made the Israelites holy, right? We already saw the stipulation. Now let's go to the book of Psalms. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 147. The book of Psalms, chapter 147. 147. The book of Psalms, chapter 147. We're going to read verses 19 and 20. And it says, "He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt with any nation. He has not dealt so with any nation. And as far as his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh." Right there. We were given the law. The law was given to Israel. We were selected as the fewest people. We were selected to be a holy people, a peculiar people. We were given the law. We were given the statutes. We were given the judgments. We were given all these things. Right? Now let's continue on. We're going to see why. Let's go to Psalms 82. I think that's what they say. A little bit of Dr. Hughes right in there. Psalms 82. Let's see. Is that a 2? Might be a 3. I really don't know what that is. Let's read it and see. We're going to find out. We're going to see. Okay, cool. Elohim standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the Elohim. How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Salah, forever. Defend the poor and the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rear them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk in darkness. All of the foundation of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are Elohim, and all of your children, all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O Elohim, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. I guess that's why I wanted to read the whole thing. I pretty much just needed to read 5, 6, and 7. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are Elohim, ye are gods. For those that don't keep up with the lingo, he says, ye are gods, right? He's talking to Israel. We are holy as the Most High is holy. He says, you are gods. You're going to die like men, but you are gods. You are set apart. You are Elohim. Elohim just translates to mighty ones. You are mighty ones. And the whole world is out of course. The whole earth is out of course. Y'all got to be the ones to set it straight. Judge righteously. Right? So let's go. So right here we see the Israelites are a nation of kings. The Israelites are a nation of is a kingdom of priests, right? What's happening? A kingdom of priests. So the Levites were the tribe that were the priest to Israel. All of Israel and all of the Israelites are priests to the world, because as the Most High told Jacob, you and your seeds shall, all the families of the earth shall be blessed through you and your seed, right? So we are a kingdom of priests. So our job is to deliver the law to the world, right? So if we, so I had a conversation with a friend of mine, a pastor, and he said, bro, why would you want to be an Israelite? Right? Because the first thing they did when they brought us over here was stripped us of our identity, right? Stripped us of our identity. And when they did that, they didn't just take our name, they took our heritage, they took our culture, they took everything away from us, right? So, you know, a lot of people across the world who are in fact Israelites don't believe that they're Israelites, right? And there's a lot of struggle when people hear about Israelites, when they come into the knowledge of the Israelites, when they come into the knowledge that they are Israelites, they struggle with it, right? Because it's like, you know, the Israelites, you know, if we are the Israelites, you know, why, you know, we suffer so much. Why would you want to be an Israelite? They got it the worst. They got it coming the worst because they were selected to be in such a high position. To whom much is given, much is tested. When you have when you are given great power, you have great responsibility. And when you fail that responsibility, you not only fail that responsibility for yourself, you fail that responsibility for those that you are responsible for. So if all the families of the earth are to be blessed through Israelites, and the Israelites are not keeping the laws themselves, they're also causing the rest of the world to fall. We're not fulfilling our intended purpose. So that's why the Israelites will have it the worst in the end times, right? But let's see why. Now, we already touched on it. It said, if you will keep these commandments, these laws, these statutes, these judgments, then you will be a holy people unto me. I'm holy, you're going to be holy. You're going to be connected to me like this, right? David said, we are gods. We are mighty ones. We are Elohim, right? So let's go to the famous book of Deuteronomy. We're going to go to verse chapter 28. And I'm not going to read every verse in this excerpt. I'm just going to skim through and pick through some ones that stand out, right? Shalom, shalom. So the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. We're gonna read you know what? We're gonna read 1 through 14, which is where the Christian church loves to go. So Deuteronomy 28, 1 through 14. I'm gonna read 1 through 14. We're gonna stop and then we're gonna dig into 15 through 68, 9, one of them. And it says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh thy Elohim, or the Lord your God, to observe and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahweh thy Elohim will set thee on high above all nations on earth. So here's the stipulation: if you do what I asked you to do, if you keep, now mind you, this was a covenant made with Abraham. That covenant was passed to Isaac. That covenant then passed to all the seeds of Isaac, right? So if a covenant is an agreement, I will set you above all nations if you listen to what I got to say. If you do what I say, you do your end of the, you do your part, I do my part. I will keep you, I will make your enemies your footstool. I do all these things. I'll make you a holy people peculiar to myself. You will be set above all nations if you keep your end of the bargain. Keep up your end of the bargain. Now let's continue reading. And it says, all these blessings shall come unto thee and overtake thee. And if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy Elohim, blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou. We're blessed in the city. We're blessed in the field. I ain't gonna get y'all the vocal. I ain't gonna get y'all the vocals like that. We ain't here for that. It ain't about me right now. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue, right? Shout out to Fred Hammond. It says, be blessed. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of the ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, and increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shall be thou when thou comest, and blessed shall thou be when thou goest out. Yahweh shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. Thou shalt come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. So if your enemies come popping off, they run. They ain't even gonna make it to you. You are going to always be protected and defended by the Most High if you hearken unto the words. Let's see. Something. Okay. I get with you after the after we end the broadcast. Cool. Let's go back over here. Let's see. Yahweh shall command the blessings upon thee in thy storehouses. So your savings account, they love it. Your storehouses, your bank account gonna thrive. They love that, right? And then thou set it in all thou settest thine hand unto. Everything you touch gonna be blessed. Everything you touch gonna be blessed, right? And blessed shall be in the land which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee. Yahweh shall establish thee a holy people unto. There it go again. He shall establish in thee a holy people unto himself, as he has sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahweh thy Elohim and walk in his ways. So there again, if you keep up your end of the bargain, if you do what I'm asking you to do, this is what you get. You will be blessed if you follow these commandments. Now, people say, oh, the law is done away with. We ain't got to get in all that. Then they say commandments. Okay, let's just think about the 10 commandments real quick. Let's not talk about the 600 and something odd laws that's in the Torah, right? Or the first 5 books of the scriptures, right? Let's talk about the 10 commandments. Thou shalt have no other Elohim before me. That shouldn't be hard to do, but we worship everything else but the Most High. You know what I'm saying? We go to Sunday service. Shalom, shalom. We go to Sunday service. We go to which we did a lesson on that a few weeks ago about Sunday service. And that's a pagan ritual. We skip Bible study. We skip all these things to go to the club, to go to the mall. We skip these things to go party, to day party and things like that. You don't have to be. You don't have to be. And no disrespect to anybody that's tuning in from another a religious background, but you don't have to be a Muslim to be bowing to other Elohim. You don't have to. Your God can be anything that you place above the Most High. Your wife can be your God. Your husband can be your God. If you exalt your husband higher than you do the Most High, he is your God. You are bowing to another Elohim. That is your God, right? anything, right? I mean, just something as simple as that. Thou shalt not make any graven images of anything in the likeness of the heavens above. Okay, cool. We got pictures of this white dude in every church dang near from here to Timbuktu. Got people walk around with what they call them Jesus pieces of what they think he looked like. You making an image, right? And you worshiping it. The Catholic faith, they pray with rosaries in their hand. They got the come on, man. Thou shalt not steal. Boy, stealing. What? I got relatives that came in my house and stole from me. Thou shalt not murder or shed innocent blood. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Come on, man. We see statuses all the time. We see these married men act more single than the single men. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we have a very hard time just keeping to the 10. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor. On the 7th day is the Sabbath unto Yahweh the Elohim. In it ye shall do no work, you, nor your wife, nor your sons or daughters, your man service, your maid service. Now your cattle can't even do no work on the 7th day of the week. But we still go to the mall, we still go to the restaurant, we still go to the gas station, get us a smoothie. We still do all these things, right? So today we can't keep the 10. Let alone the other ones. You know, they be in churches, you know what I'm saying? I see people all the time, especially around this time of the year. I see people bragging on their churches and their giveaways and things like that. I walked out of a charitable event because they were giving out pork. How are we representing the Most High giving out an abomination to people? Doesn't make sense, right? All of this goes into why we are in the predicament we are in this country and other countries across the world. But let's continue to go. Yahweh shall open up unto thee his good treasures, the heaven, to give rain unto thy land. We get it. By now we get it. 1 through 14 is the pretty part, right? Beautiful. You be blessed. You do what you said you was gonna do, which is keep my commandments. I'll bless you, right? Let's keep going. Let's go to 15 now. But big old butts, right? But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh the Elohim, to observe and do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, it's a lot of curses, right? Now, I'm going to skim through and I'm going to just point out ones that really resonate with Shalom Agwil. It really resonates with who we are, right? Or who the Israelites are in today's time. There's only one group of people on earth that fit this description, right? Only one. And you can go through history, you can look it up yourself, right? Curse shall thou be in the city, curse shall thou be in the field. Where were slaves working? In the fields. In today's time, what's going on, Marcus? In today's time, where do we work? In the city. We got some of the worst jobs. You know what I'm saying? We have what's called the black tax. People like to use that term, the black tax. We got to work 10 times harder just to get the minimum that a white man would get. You know what I'm saying? Curse shall thou be when they comest, curse shall thou be when thou goest out. Everywhere we go, right? Let's see. I'm gonna skim, like I said, I'm gonna skim through. Because I want to get the ones because it's a lot. Now, imagine it's 68 verses. I ain't gonna read all 68. I'm gonna do the ones that stand out. Thou shalt grope at noonday, and as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Who's saving us? What? I'm gonna stop saying us because I want y'all to understand this for yourselves. What race of people on the face of the earth are going through hell and not being saved? Let's keep going. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. There's stories back in slave times where you would take a wife, and the slave master would have sex with your wife, and you would know about it, and you would just have to sit there on the edge of your bed, rocking back and forth, and she comes in with her garment ripped, crying. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do nothing about it. We built all the monumental houses in this country, and we never lived in them. Slaves built the White House, did they not? Obama was the first one to live there. His daddy was a Hamite. We still ain't lived in the White House. You hear me? But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. So these people is gonna take your sons and your daughters. Your sons and your daughters. Take them away, and you ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. Who did this happen to? Didn't happen to white people. The fake Jews that walk around with the yarmulkes on the back of their head, and they walk around with tassels, and they you know what I'm saying, they walk around on the Sabbath day, like, you know what I'm saying, with the beards and the big hats, you know what I'm saying. They ain't nobody took their kids and sold them nowhere. Nobody, right? Let's keep going. Let's see. Thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee. What is a byword? A byword is something that people call you that's other than what you actually are. At one point in time, when we first came to this, when black people first came to this country, in Haiti and everywhere else, they called them niggers, right? After that, they started. We became niggas. Then we became Negroes. Then we became Afro-Americans. Then we became African-Americans. Then we became black. And you know what I'm saying? We got all of these names, all these bywords to describe who we are. That ain't none of it who we actually are. Right? But let's keep going. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Talik, I got you. As soon as I leave here, they shall go into captivity. I know a lot of people whose sons and daughters is locked up right now. Some of them crimes they didn't do. Some of them they do. So I know people doing double digits for weed, and weed is legalized in almost every state now. Like, the sons and daughters go to captivity. We make up the biggest percentage of the prisons. We're not the majority of people in this country. Let's keep going. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Boy, we were supposed to be exalted. We was exalted up here at one point in time. The Israelites was kings, and it says that they're going to be nata. Right? Let's keep going. Oh, here we go. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. A yoke of iron around thy neck. We see when we look up the history of the transatlantic slave trade, and they'll show pictures, they'll show images, paintings, right? Where you have a whole bunch of Israelites on this ship naked. That was a long journey on that boat. They wasn't feeding them. You know what I'm saying? They was thirsty. They wanted everything you could think of. They wanted just the bare necessities for a travel they didn't have. They wanted all of that. They didn't get it. They didn't get it. And when we got off that ship, what they do? When black people, when them people got off them ships, what they do? They put a yoke of iron on their neck. Let's keep going. Where's I'm at? He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. I done lent some people some money, but for the major purposes, you want to go buy a house, you're not gonna go to no black man for it, for no loan. You can't take your FHA to no black bank. You gotta go to one of the white banks. Continue. Let's go. There's a few of them. Here we go. 54. This is one of my favorites right here. This is where we get to the good stuff right here. Deuteronomy 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate. So a soft guy who's soft-spoken, kind-hearted, don't want no smoke, he cool, right? What does it say about him? So the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother and towards the wife of his bosom and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Wait a minute. We see bitter baby mamas all over social media every day speaking about their baby daddies and how they not active. They don't do nothing. They were so nice when they got together, and all of a sudden he don't want to be no daddy. Now he putting his hands on her. He doing all this. He embarrassing her in public. He just doing all this wild stuff. Why? Why would he? Why me? Why is this happening to me? Why? Verse 54. Watch what happened in 55. So that he will not give to any of them the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. Now watch 56. Because I've fallen victim to this. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody who knows me personally knows, you know, I was in a relationship and I was married, right? For a nice amount of time. Went to work with a wife and 5 kids. I came home a single father. No explanation given, no letter. She didn't write me a 4-page letter and seal it with a kiss. She ain't sent a text message. She ain't put a postcard, a post-it note. And that time was gone. Pure finito. Literally, in a day, I thought to myself, why? Why would this happen to me? We was all good. We came from the trenches. We came from the gutter. We grew up down the way. Why? We were starving at one point in time. We good now. Why would you leave at this point? Watch this. Verse 56, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness. So she's so delicate, she won't even, and if she ain't got no shoes on, her feet ain't gonna touch the ground. She sedity, prissy, uptight. Oh no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm tender. I'm tender. Right? Watch this. Her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter, and towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear, and she shall eat them for want of things secretly in siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee and all that. So she gonna hate her. She gonna turn her back on her kids. She gonna turn her back on her husband. She gonna turn her back on the Most High. She gonna turn her back on all of that. Whoa. Are we the Israelites? This is happening to a lot of us. I don't see it happening to not too many other nationalities, but let's keep going. Other nationalities, they value family. You know what I'm saying? They arranged marriage is still in this country. They set it up, man. Listen, let's keep going. '59. Yahweh will make thy plagues wonderful, and thy plagues of thy seeds, even great plagues, and of long countenances, and sore sicknesses, and of long continuance. Wait a minute. So sick, diseases, plagues, all of these things. What? I don't know too many white people with diabetes. I'm just saying, I don't know too many people with diabetes. The leading killer of African Americans or black people in America is a few things: heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes. Them the three killers of our people. Black folk. Them the three killers, right? Don't really affect too many other people across the world. But it say these plagues is going to affect the Israelites. And nobody else is going to affect them that didn't keep they ended the bargain. Let's keep going. Mm-hmm. 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 64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there shalt thou serve other Elohim, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Now, guess what they got the entire country just about praying to? A cross. What is a cross made of, according to what they say is Roman tradition? Cross is made of wood. According to the story that they tell you about the crucifixion scene, they got three men, Christ in the middle, robber, murderer. They on the cross. How you think they got a grown man up on this cross? How you think they made it stay erect? Dug a hole, put the hole in there, put rocks on the base. And then they got everybody worshiping this cross. The letter J didn't exist until about 400 years ago. So before, and the transatlantic slave trade took place a little more than 400 years ago. So when we got here, when the Israelites got here, they would have never even known. They didn't know the language. They wouldn't have known the language. What's going on, Terry? The Israelites, when they got here, and if you look up the transatlantic slave trade, they took them from one spot of Africa or a few spots in Africa, and they took them everywhere, right? They're scattered everywhere. But we won't know the language, and we'll be made to serve other gods which them nor their fathers had ever known. If the letter J didn't exist when the Israelites were taken all over the place, and they introduced them to Jesus de Christos, right? That's how you say it. That's actually how you say that. But whatever. They wouldn't have known who that was. They wouldn't have known who that was. Who? JC? Who? What? We serve Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Who is Jesus de Christos? I don't understand it. Right? Boom. Let's keep going. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart, a failing eye, and a sorrowful mind. Wait a minute. What you do when the police get behind you? I got license, insurance, tags good. I just changed all my light bulbs, everything. I need some tires, but they don't know that. But if a police officer get behind me, I still, niggas, my seatbelt on. Am I good? We good? Let me sit up straight. Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact, bro. Look straight, bro. Don't look at them, bro. I know I'm clean, but bro, I don't want to. Come on, man. A trembling heart. You always in fear. Now, me personally, I'm out of that. I'm out of that mode. But I remember riding around scared for my life if I saw the police. You know what? Do your heart beat when you see somebody else getting pulled over? You see them lights going, whoop, whoop. Oh my goodness. And then you see them drive past you, boy, you about pooted. Ooh, ooh. Made me nervous, my bad. To the passenger, right? So let's keep going. In the morning thou shalt say, would Elohim it were even, and at even thou shalt say, would Elohim it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eye which thou shalt see. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now, wait a minute. You can go look at a map right now. You can look at a map. You can pinpoint the land of Israel and then pinpoint Egypt. Ain't no water between there. So what do you mean he gonna bring you back into Egypt with ships? Wait a minute. Look up the word Egypt and what it means. Egypt means bondage. So let's erase that word out of the English translation and let's just use the word it means. But I will take you back into bondage with ships. No other time in history were people taken as slaves into other countries with ships. Remember, America was the new world. They didn't know about this place. They had to take us from one place to another with ships. Let's see, with ships. By the way, whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and thou shalt say, and thou shalt be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Now, wait a minute. They was going to be taken away and never go back. You might say to yourself, if people live in Israel, that make them Israelis. The people from Israel is Israelis. And that's a true statement because the land of Israel is actually inhabited by people who are not Israelites. They're inhabited by other nations of people. The land of Jerusalem is split up in three. You got a little Israelite section, you got a little Christian section, then in the middle there you got a little Islamic section. But Jerusalem is the center point for Israel. The land of Israel. It's not inhabited by Israelites. All right, one more time. Let's go to we're gonna wrap up here in just a second, right? Let's go to the book of Second Esdras, verse 6. Second Esdras in the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha. We're going to the Apocrypha, right? Second Esdras, verse 6, 55 through 59. Ezra, the guy from this book, the guy from that book, Ezra wrote more books compiled in the Apocrypha, right? It's first and second Esdras. So we go into second Esdras, verses 55 through 59. He's going to ask a question here, right? And then chapter 7, the Most High is going to answer that question. So let's read it. The book of Second Esdras, chapter 6, verses 55 through 59, and it says, all this I have spoken before you, O Master Salika, because you have said it was for us that you created this world. And now, mind you, Ezra is Israelite, right? This is what he's saying. All this I have spoken before you, O Yahweh, because you have said that it was for us that you created this world. As for the other nations that have descended from Adam, so the other nations that descended from Adam, we all come from Adam, you have said that they are nothing and that they are like spittle, and you have compared their abundance to a drop from a bucket. And now, O Lord, these nations which are reputed to be as nothing domineer over us and devour us. So they didn't grew to a larger multitude than us. How is this even possible? You said that they was gonna be like a drop out of bucket. They the whole bucket, and we the drop, right? Let's see. Well, hey, they do this. They domineer over us and devour us, but we, your people, whom you have called your firstborn, only begotten, zealous for you, and most dear, have been given into their hands. If the world has indeed been created for us, the Israelites, why do we not possess our world as an inheritance? How long will this be so? So, mind you, we on the question, why did the Israelites go through what they go through what they went through, what they were prophesied to go through, right? And if y'all ain't put it together, if y'all ain't put it together by now, we are the Israelites. We just went through Deuteronomy 28. You can look up the transatlantic slave trade. It's a mirror image. Everything that happened in Deuteronomy 28 happened to us 400 years ago during the transatlantic slave trade and up until this day. Like I just said, I just gave a testimony about me and how my marriage ended. What's going on, Taj? I just gave that testimony, right, about how my marriage ended. But it's Deuteronomy 28, verse 56. Right there. It's still going on today. Those curses still are on us, right? So Ezra asks, how long is it going to be like this? How long are we going to suffer under the people that you said are nothing, that are like spittle, which is disgusting, right? Let's see. Chapter 7, verse 1, and it reads, when I had finished speaking these words, the angel or the messenger who had been sent to me on the former nights was sent to me again. He said to me, rise, Ezra, and listen to the words that I have come to speak to you. I said, speak, my Lord. And he said to me, there is a sea set in a wide expanse, so that it is deep and vast, but it has an entrance set in a narrow place, so that it is like a river. If there are those who wish to reach the sea and to look at it or to navigate it, how can they come to the broad part unless they pass through the narrow part? Let's keep going. Another example, there is a city built and set on a plain, and it is full of all good things, but the entrance to it is narrow and set in a precipitous place, so that there is fire on the right hand and deep water on the left. There is only one path lying between them, that is between the fire and the water, so that only one person can walk on the path. If now the city is given to someone as an inheritance, how will they receive their inheritance unless by passing through the appointed danger? I said, that's right, Lord. He said to me, so also is Israel's portion, for I made the world for their sake. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, what had been made was judged. And so the interests of this world were made narrow and sorrowful and toilsome. They are few and evil, full of dangers, and involved in great hardships. But the interests of the greater world are broad and safe, and yield fruit of immortality. Therefore, unless the living pass through the difficult and futile experiences, they can never receive those things that have been reserved for them. In a nutshell, you can only get to the blessing by going through the trials because of our forefathers' transgressions. Right? So we've defined what it means to be an Israelite. To be an Israelite is to be the chosen, an offspring or a descendant of the chosen seed of the Most High, a descendant of a man named Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, who established the land, called it Israel. He had 12 sons. Them 12 sons went on to become the 12 tribes of Israel. They formed multiple nations and kingdoms, and the southern kingdom was scattered across the entire world. The southern kingdom was scattered across the entire world. They didn't stop. They didn't stop making babies. They kept making babies. Them babies grew. The culture was continuously stripped from them to the point where you go watch Roots. If you go watch Roots, you'll see where Toby or Shaka, he didn't want to let go of his culture, but the lady, when he came back trying to talk to her, she like, I ain't on that no more. We ain't in the old world. We in the new world. We talking different. We walking different. This is life now. She had accepted it. So just imagine what she was teaching her kids. She taught her kids to be like this new world. So about a few generations, our entire history is wiped out and erased from us. But who fit the prophecies? Who fit the prophecies in Deuteronomy 28? So to be an Israelite is to be a descendant of the chosen people of the Most High. Right? Now, with that comes the responsibility. We were chosen to be a kingdom of priests. Right? So we have a responsibility. Let's go to Amos chapter 3. The book of Amos chapter 3. My bad, y'all. I ate a bunch of apples today. And it's making me burp a bunch. All right. Amos, small book. Amos chapter 3, verses 1 and 2. Hear this word that Yahweh has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquity. So why don't these things happen to no other nation on earth? Because we were the ones that was chosen, not nobody else. I don't go next door and beat my neighbor's kids when my kids break a wall. I don't go next door and cuss my neighbor's kids out when my kids tripping. That don't make sense, right? So if we were selected to be a people for the Most High, for a peculiar people, a holy people, we were supposed to be holy like He was holy, or the Most High is holy. So it came down on us. Let's keep going. Let's go to Matthew chapter 15. And we wrapping up. We about to wrap up real soon. Matthew chapter 15. Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 through 28. So, and I'm gonna tie this all in. I'm gonna wrap this up, right? Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 through 28, and it reads, and Yahushua, which was the Hebrew name given to Christ. Then Yahushua went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with the devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So right here, people will stop reading and be like, oh, Christ is only here. Christ only matters to Israelites, right? Let's keep reading. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs. And she said, truth, Lord. Yet the dogs eat the crumbs which fall from the master's table. And Yahushua answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith, be it unto thee, even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole at that very hour. Now, when we go through 29, matter of fact, let's go ahead and read it. Verse 29, and Yahushua departed from thence. So he left from there. He healed her daughter, then he left, right? And Yahushua departed from thence and came nigh unto the Sea of Galilee, and went up into the mountain and sat there. And great multitudes came unto him, having them with them those that were lame, blind, dumb, maimed, and many others, and cast them down at Yahushua's feet, and he healed them, insomuch that the multitude wondered when they saw the dumb speak, and the maimed to be whole, and the lame to walk, and the blind to see. They glorified the Elohim of Israel. That right there lets you know that these people weren't Israelites. So he came for the lost sheep of Israel, because Israel were the ones that were supposed to be the priests to the whole world. Right? Because by Israel, or Jacob and his seed, all the families of the earth will be blessed. So if I want to stop crime, look at Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises. Bane come in, set off the bombs. I'm gonna blow this whole city up. I'm gonna blow Gotham up. And then all the police, he locked all the police underground, and the ones that wasn't underground, they stayed in their house. They was hiding. Gordon goes around and he start knocking on doors, and he start rounding up the police. Why didn't he go himself and just go disarm the bomb? They ain't threat eliminated. No, he went and rounded up the people who were commissioned to do that work, and then they moved forward and they did that work. That's what Yahushua was doing. That was the point in this story, that he came to round us up so we could do our reasonable duty, but it was for the world's sake, right? Let's keep going. Mark chapter 7. Well, I don't get into that. Mark chapter 7, verse 26. It says that she was not, because people will tell you she was an Israelite. She was not an Israelite. Go to Mark chapter 7 and verse 26. Let's go to Romans chapter 11. Chapter 11, verses 8 through 12. According as it is written, Elohim hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. And David saith, let their table be made a snare, and a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back all way. Now, mind you, right here is why you will tell somebody all of these facts. You'll go to the transatlantic slave trade. You will pair it up with Deuteronomy 28. And then you will go into Israel and who we are, and the background and what we were selected for. And they'll be like, no, it ain't. Nah, it ain't. We ain't Israelites. We Gentiles. We black folk. We colored people. Their eyes will be darkened that they may not see, and bow down their backs always. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? Elohim forbid, but rather that their fall, salvation through their fall, Salika. But rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. Now, if they fall of them be the riches of if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? So right here, Israel was selected. The Israelites were selected. The Israelites failed to keep up their end of the bargain. So their blessing goes on to people that are not Israelites, that are not black. Now you see when you see a white person with fringes and tassels, right? You see a white person with fringes and tassels. I know some guys that get offended by that. You know what I'm saying? The fact that when I say these things to people, like, salvation is for all who seek the face of the Most High, not just Israelites. People get mad. It's they're provoked to jealousy. It's prophecy, right? But if our fall makes them rich, how much more will we be blessed if we keep up our end of the bargain, right? So let's go. Let's see. Drop down to 16. For if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy, and if the root be holy, so are the branches. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go up to 13 and go. For I speak to you Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles. This is Paul speaking. I magnify mine office, if by any means I may provoke to it illumination them which are my flesh, and might save some of them. Now, man, this is Paul speaking about, I'm an Israelite. I came to preach to Gentiles or white people, but if what I do can save my brothers, then so be it. Keep going. For if the casting away of them be the reconciling of the world, what shall they receive? What shall the receiving of them be, but life from the dead? Life from the dead. For if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy, and if the root be holy, so are the branches. And if some of the branches be broken off, and thou, being a wild olive tree, wert grafted in among them, and with them partakest the root of the fatness of the olive tree, boast not against the branches. But if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. How far am I going? Yeah. Thou will say then, the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief they were broken off, and thou standest by faith. Be not high-minded, but fear. For Elohim spared not the natural branches. Take heed, lest he also spare not thee. right? So right here, we got three. All right, let me read this last one and we're going to wrap it up. 26 through 32. 26 through 32. And it says, and so all Israel shall be saved as it is written, there shall come out of Sion the deliverer and shall turn away from ungodliness from Jacob. So that's regular Israel. That's original, natural born Israel, right? For this is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sins. As concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sake. But as touching the election, they are beloved for the Father's sake. For the gifts and calling of Elohim are without repentance. For as ye in times past have not believed Elohim, yet now have obtained mercy through their unbelief. Even so have these also now not believed, that through your mercy they also may obtain mercy. For Elohim hath concluded them all in unbelief, that he might have mercy upon all. So we got three. What makes up the Israelites, right? Not a religion. We already established it's not a religion. It's an ethnicity. It's an ethnicity, right? So the Israelites, as we see right here, with the olive tree parable, the original olive tree, which is natural born righteous Israelites. You have the ones that turned away and those branches were broken off, right, or cut off, who were hit with the mind of stupor, eyes of blindness, all of that, right? So they're Israelites, but they're punished by not being awakened to this truth, right? They're cast off. And then you got the olive tree, the wild olive tree that is engrafted in, right? So that's three. So you got natural born Israelites, which is a nationality. You got Gentiles who take up this book and they adhere to what it say inside, not what they teach them on Sunday, they ain't praying the Jesus de Christos. You know what I'm saying? They following these laws, statutes, and commandments. They referring to the Most High by his true name, his Hebrew name, the Messiah by his Hebrew name, because it says under no name comes salvation other than the name he was given. He was not given Jesus de Christos. He was given Yahushua. So that's his name. That's what salvation comes through. So you got the Gentiles that come into that conclusion, who come to that conclusion by way of learning from an Israelite, because only through the Israelites are all the families of the earth blessed. So, and then you also have those that come back into the fold. You got those which are just about all of us, who is in the world, and then they turn back to the faith. They turn back to the Messiah. They turn back to the Father. They turn back to the Holy Spirit, and they move forward in truth. So those three groups of people make up the Israelites. Yes, Gentiles make up a portion of the Israelites. They are engrafted in. People say, well, it's only 12 gates in the kingdom. Okay, they're engrafted in. So if you got 1,000 Israelites and you got 1,200 Gentiles that take up the faith, then 100 of them are going to go to the gate of Gad, 100 of them going to go to Issachar, 100 of them going to go to Judah, 100 of them going to go to Levi, etc., etc. They're just engrafted in. Engrafted in means included. So those three, natural born Israelites that keep Torah, the Israelites that fell away, that came back to keep Torah like most of us, and the Gentiles that pick up Torah and keep it. So what does it mean to be an Israelite? It does not mean that you're a Christian. It doesn't mean that you know what I'm saying, you're a Latter-day Saint. It's not a religion. It's not a religious sect. It is a nationality that comes with a culture. Keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments is not our religion. It's our culture. Going to church on Sunday is a religion. Altar call is religion. Communion is religion. The way that the pastor walk in with all his armor bearers around him and stuff like that, that's religion. This is culture. So to be an Israelite is to be is to have the knowledge of who you are. It's to have knowledge of your true identity and to operate based on the culture that goes with that. That's it. In a nutshell. So we just spoke. I don't know how long I've been on this live, but we literally just spoke. I'll say about an hour and a half, about a good hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes. Um, we just went through all of the biblical references, all the biblical facts. We threw some history in there, gave some background, and the conclusion is that the Israelites are a ethnic group, is an ethnicity. To be an Israelite is an ethnicity, and with that ethnicity comes a culture, and that culture is the keeping of the Torah. In a nutshell, that's all it is. So, I don't see any questions coming up. I don't see any questions. So if nobody has questions, we'll go ahead and open it up. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll through because I really ain't been reading, so I really can't say that there's no questions. My bad, y'all. Talika, I will get to your call. I will not forget that. Cool. We good over here. My Akeem on this side. Okay, so there is, we'll be reaching out, Lawrence. We'll be reaching out, touching bases, seeing what's going on, seeing what we can do. But I don't have anything else. If nobody else has any questions, we'll go ahead. I'll bid y'all shalom. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Definitely appreciate y'all. As y'all all know, the forums are open, the inboxes are open, the messengers are open. If anybody has any questions or comments they want to add, feel free to do that. If you don't want to ask a question on a public forum, you can always DM me. You can DM Israel Now. And with that, I'll bid y'all shalom, which means peace be unto you. And yeah, be safe, be blessed. So what is this here? I don't know if I quite understand your question, Alicia. So what is this here? If you're talking about here as in this landmass, this is America. This is our last captivity. This is our last land of bondage. If you ask me what this live is, we asked the question. We took an hour and a half to answer it. Let's see. Cool. Oh, what am I speaking about? I'm speaking. Okay, so the lesson was called "What Does It Mean to Be an Israelite?" We just went an hour and a half, hour 45 minutes, and we went through the scriptures. We went through the Bible. This thing right here, this book here. Okay, we went through the Bible here. We went through the Apocrypha, which is also more scriptures from some of the same prophets that are inside the Bible. And we dug into some history as well, and we concluded that the Israelites is an ethnic group. It's a group of people who were chosen by the Most High to be a holy people, who are also chosen to be a kingdom of priests to the world, and through the Israelites, all the families of the world will be blessed. So to be an Israelite, we did all of these things to illuminate the fact that to be an Israelite is just an ethnic group, and it comes with a culture. That culture is keeping of the Torah and spreading the words, the laws to the four corners of the earth. I will be leaving this live up so you can go back and watch it. Also on the broadcast, Israel Now Cincinnati, on that page. Yeah. So in a nutshell. So like I said, man, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope everybody was edified, got some understanding. If anybody has any questions, just holler at me. I'm not gonna hold anybody up any longer. So like I said, I'm gonna bid y'all shalom, and I will holler at y'all on Shabbat.